Good morning student, myself Millie Sankla, and in our subject structure analysis part 1, today we start with our new chapter, that is column and strut. Okay, in this chapter first of all we cover our theory portion and then we solve our examples. Okay, now first theory, what is strut? Okay, for that here I take a three figure. This is the first figure, roof truss. Second figure is Havra bridge, and this is the number of three to four strut that provide horizontal, inclined and vertical. Now here we discuss about strut. Okay, strut is a member which is subjected to axial compressive force. Okay, which type of loading is subjected? Strut is subjected to axial compressive force. Now next, cross section area of strut is less compared to column. Okay, and strut may be provided horizontal, vertical and inclined, and strut is also provided as a roof truss or as a side railing of bridge. This is the example of Havra bridge, and this figure, look at this all are provided truss, and this inclined and this vertical and this horizontal member is a strut. That means strut is a part of truss. Clear? Okay. Second, strut is used in this roof truss and also in this Havra, we can say that side railing of bridge. Now next, here we compare strut with column. Now second we understand what is column. Okay, column. Here I take again two figure. This is the picture of column and this is the section of column. Okay, when strut is vertical, that means it is an example of column. Strut may be horizontal, vertical or inclined, but column is always and always vertical member. Column is also subjected to axial compressive force. Okay, and cross section area of column is more than compared to strut. Now where we use this column? Column is used in RCC building, also in steel building. Okay, vertical member of column subjected to axial compressive force, remember that. Okay, column is always subjected to axial compressive force, and section of cross section area of column is larger than truss. Okay, and look at this, column is used in building. Okay, here we simply discuss about the difference between column and strut. Strut is a part of truss. It may be horizontal, vertical, inclined. Strut and column both are subjected to axial compressive force. Okay, strut and column both are subjected to axial compressive force, but cross section area of strut is lesser than column. Okay, and strut is used in roof truss and side railing of bridge, and column is used in building. Okay, now we discuss our next topic. What is radius of gyration? Okay, here I take again two figure. First figure is the explanation, theoretical explanation of radius of gyration. In second figure, real application of radius of gyration. Now what is radius of gyration? Okay, the distance from given axis. Okay, the distance, look at this, here I consider axis AB. The distance from given axis, small element of lamina are placed. Okay, the distance from given axis, AB is given axis, and this is the distance R1, R2, R3 is the distance from given axis, and small element of lamina are placed. DA is the small element of lamina. Our total lamina is A. Okay, now what is radius of gyration with respect to this section? The moment of inertia of lamina about axis. Okay, that means moment of inertia of this lamina about this given axis does not change, and this constant distance is known as radius of gyration. In second figure we can see that lamina, small element of this lamina are placed, but from this given axis distance is constant, and this constant distance where moment of inertia of given section does not change, this constant distance is known as radius of gyration. Okay, now K is equal to radius of gyration, I is equal to moment of inertia, A is equal to area. What is the equation of radius of gyration? K is equal to under root I by A. If here I make a I as a subject, okay, then here we remove our under root, then I is equal to AK square. This is the equation of radius of gyration under root I by A, and unit of this K is equal to M. Clear? Now in second figure, real application of this moment of gyration. Here I take one example of table fan. Okay, look at this. Here rotation of this blade of table fan with respect to this given axis. Okay, this is the center of axis. Okay, and from this center of axis to this bottom of axis, all blade of this table fan rotate constantly with respect to this distance, and this distance is known as radius of gyration. Okay, the constant distance where all element of lamina are rotate with respect to given axis, this constant distance is known as radius of gyration. Clear? What is the concept of radius of gyration? Now we discuss next. Slenderness ratio. Notation of this slenderness ratio is lambda. Okay, in simple word, slenderness ratio is the ratio of effective length to minimum radius of gyration. It is very important, the minimum radius of gyration. If our section is circular, hollow circular, there is no problem. But if our section is rectangle and hollow rectangle, then we find out two moment of inertia, because equation of radius of gyration K is equal to under root I by A. Okay, and here we use moment of inertia for circular, hollow circular, no problem. But rectangle, hollow rectangle, we find out two moment of inertia about x-axis and about y-axis, and for minimum radius of gyration we take minimum moment of inertia. Clear? This concept we use at a time of calculation. Please be take care. Okay. Now next, lambda. If in given structure lambda is more, slenderness ratio is more, then load carrying capacity will be less. Okay, this is the relation of load carrying capacity with respect to slenderness ratio. Now next, what is load? Okay, because load carrying capacity of column ultimates depended upon the resisting stress and cross section area. Load carrying capacity of short column is depend upon its stress and its area. Now next definition is safe load. Safe load, notation of this safe load, P is the load and safe means safe load. A ratio of Rankine load to Euler load with respect to factor of safety is known as safe load. In some cases, FOS, we can here write also FOS, factor of safety is the ratio of Euler load or Rankine load to safe load. Okay, this definition we learn in two form. If safe load is given, then we find out, if safe load is given, then we find out factor of safety, and if factor of safety is given, then we find out safe load. Okay, ultimate safe load is the ratio of Rankine load or Euler load to FOS, and factor of safety is the ratio of Euler load or Rankine load to safe load. Okay, now what is long column? Again here I take a two figure of long column. In first we can see that length of column is more. In second figure also see that length of column is more. Now what is the definition of long column? When length of column is more than its cross section dimension, it is known as a long column. And relation according to this radius of gyration, LE by K minimum greater than 50, then that is known as a long column. Okay, for mild steel, if our slenderness ratio lambda is greater than 80, then it is known as long column. Okay, for mild steel. Okay, next, what is short column? Length of column is less compared to its cross section dimension, then that is known as our short column. And again, with respect to this relation, effective length to ratio of this effective length to minimum radius of gyration is less than 50, then this column is known as short column. And here again I take a two figure. Look at this. In first figure length of column is less. In second, this is the frame structure, and again here the length of column is less, and this is our short column. Simply definition of long and short column. Long column and short column, length of column we compare with its cross section dimension. Okay. Now our next definition, that is crushing load. What is crushing load? The load at which short column fail by crushing, that is known as our crushing load. Simply the load at which short column, okay, length of column is less compared to its cross section dimension, is fail by crushing, then it is known as crushing load. Second, crippling load or buckling load. The load at which long column fail by buckling, then it is known as crippling load or buckling load. Simply short column is failed by crushing and long column is failed by buckling. But this two load, crushing load and buckling load, is depend upon some factors. It depend upon first factor is how much amount of load is applied on column, then length of column, then end condition of column, okay, and column is made up of which material. It may be RCC, steel, wooden. And second, cross section dimension of column. This is the 5 factor on which crushing load and our buckling load is dependent. Okay, now failure of long column by buckling. Here again I take a 3 figure. In first figure RCC column, this is the second figure, and this deflection is an image of column. Okay, now when our long column is subjected to load, long column if continuously apply with load, okay, due to this compressive load, axial compressive load, our column is subjected to deflection, and this deflection, it is in form of buckling. Okay, and this is known as failure of long column due to buckling. Okay, in this figure, 3 figure is the ultimate long column failure due to buckling. Okay, failure of long column we explain with this figure. Now next, failure of short column by crushing. As again, what is crushing load? The load at which our column fail by crushing, short column fail by crushing, it is known as our crushing load. Now in short column we apply continuously the axial compressive load. What will be happen? The outer surface of column is failed by our crushing load, because column is ultimately made up of reinforced cement concrete, and reinforcement are provided in inner portion and outer portion is covered with concrete. So if our short column is subjected to crushing load, it will be fail like this way. Look at this, the column outer surface concrete is fail, and in first case our reinforcement bar is bent, okay, because it is the type of buckling. Failure of type is buckling. In this case reinforcement are buckle, and in case of crushing our concrete is fail. Okay, this is the simple difference between failure of short column and long column. Short column is failed by crushing and failure of concrete, and long column is failed by buckling and failure of reinforcement. Buckle is reinforcement is buckle due to length of column is more. Okay, this is the failure of short column and long column. Now next, what is the assumption of Euler formula? Here find out load of column by Euler's formula and Rankine formula. Now first of all we derive the derivation. What is Euler formula? What is the assumption to made derivation of this Euler's formula? Okay, because any derivation is depends on assumption. Now our first assumption is the material that we use in construction of material, it is elastic, homogeneous and isotropic. Then length of column is more, column is subjected to axial compressive force, and before applying the load column is straight, there will be no deflection in column. Then column is follow the Hooke's law. Okay, here our column is follow the Hooke's law, and column is straight before application of load. Okay, and our column is uniform throughout the length of column. Okay, again I am repeating you, material that we use, it is elastic, homogeneous and isotropic. Length of column is more, column is truly subjected to axial compressive force, and column is failed by buckling. Column is straight before loading, and it is follow the Hooke's law. and cross-section area of column is uniform throughout its length. That it is the some assumption in Euler's formula. Now next we discuss about limitation of Euler's formula, and for that here I explain this limitation of Euler's formula with a graph. Okay, one figure. First of all, the assumption we made here, strut is subjected to axial compressive force and it is straight before loading. This is our first assumption to prove limitation of Euler's formula. Here we take one strut, and this strut is subjected to axial compressive force and it is straight before loading. Now graph, here I draw one graph, and this graph is between stress and slenderness ratio. Okay, limitation of Euler's formula we explain with this graph, and this is the relation between stress and second is slenderness ratio lambda. Okay, now next one by one, critical stress, that means our average stress. What is the equation of stress? Here we derive the relation of Euler's formula for with respect to its limitation. Now sigma c is our stress. Sigma c is equal to PE by area, because here we consider PE because we find out limitation of Euler's formula. Okay, PE by area, stress is equal to ratio of load to area. Okay, now what is PE? PE is equal to pi square EI by LE square. This derivation we prove for different end condition. Okay, in next session, pi square EI by LE square. Okay, in this area. Now here if I put I, okay, if you remember in radius of gyration, k is equal to under root I by a, and if I make a subject I, then equation of this I is equal to ak square. Okay, at a time of definition I explain you. Next, numerator and denominator cancel this area. Ultimate sigma c is equal to pi square e, and this k square is shift in denominator, then LE by k square. Okay, now what is LE by k? LE is equal to our effective length and k is equal to a radius of gyration. Ultimate LE by k is equal to our slenderness ratio lambda. So sigma c is equal to pi square e lambda square. This is the relation of lambda and stress, or we can say this is the limitation of Euler's formula. Now according to this, our value of lambda is greater than 80, then it is known as long column, and if value of this slenderness lambda is less than 80, then it is our short column. From this equation we directly find out length of column, okay, with respect to its given stress. Here we take milestone. Okay, this is this relation lambda greater than 80 is long column, lambda less than 80 it is for long milestone. Okay, the material we use, that is milestone. Here we in session we stop here, and in next session we derive first derivation of Euler's formula for first end condition. Okay, just now we stop here.